Well, hello. I haven't made a video in a long time. I found out that I kind of suck at it. So I had surgery this year. So there's a lot of these videos that didn't get put on. I've been out of commission for a while. My kids have been doing the sawmill, running the slabs. Matthew, mostly Eric though. Eric is my daughter's boyfriend, Caitlin, and he's done the majority of it. So today, though, we're going to do something completely different. I plan on posting those on, and some of them are going to be dated, and some of them are going to be dry, and maybe I could do some voiceovers. I don't know. All right, like I said, I suck at this. So what I do, this is Rough Cut Creations. I'm Patrick. Today, I am going to show people how to do a European mount. I'm sure there's a million of them out there. There's a million ways to do it. No way's right or wrong. You have to be careful about leaving gouges in the skull, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. And most gouges you do get in the skull you don't see. So a lot of these people, I just do them for family and friends, basically free of charge, just because, and I've been doing them for 20 years. I make bowl holders, I make all kinds of wood products. These are the kind of things I plan on making with the wood from my sawmill, tables, bar tops, those kind of things, okay? Hopefully I can make this interesting. If not, you won't watch, and well, there's the way it goes, okay? So, that's going to be the next step in this video, is we're going to start, okay? This is a deer, my son's friend John Lane, they've been childhood friends for years. I got his first deer, and it turned out to be a heck of a nice one. Since he's an apartment dweller and doesn't really have room for a mount, which is something we were going to do, we're going to do a European mount for the man. Here is where we're going to start to remove the skin. This takes a little bit of time. You're going to make sure you have sharp knives. I do have some old surgical tools. They're like 30 years old. The other thing I like to do is make sure my head is frozen until I can work on it, especially if it's a little warmer out in your neck of the woods, and then I bring it out. Make sure, another thing, that your knife set is nice and sharp. It's very important to keep them sharp, otherwise you have issues, as we talked about earlier, with gouging into the skin, especially in my case, having surgery recently this year, and I have such limitations on my weight. Having the knife sharp makes it a lot easier to get through things, especially the thick ear skin, cutting out the eye sockets, getting some of the brain out and the brain matter. So you can see I have this table. It has a sink that's really handy, especially in the summer. I can hook a hose to it and keep things washed off. The other thing is, it's very important that you get a lot of the tissue off, but you can't get it all off in this stage. But the most that you get the skin, you skin it out, you get most of that done. That makes it a lot easier as you start pulling things off during the boiling process, and we'll talk about that when that happens, because we're going to get to a point where we're going to start boiling, and you're going to boil that slowly. But at this stage, you try to get as much of this off as possible. And as you can see, I've kind of speeded the film up so that you don't have to watch all of it, but you get the drift. So as we do this and as we move along, take your time. You're going to have to get up and around underneath the horns, up underneath the little ridges, and that's where some of your smaller knives or even screwdrivers can come in handy. And eventually during the boiling process, we'll talk about I did a little power washing, or even just washing some of that matter off as we do it. But that's some stuff we're going to go into. This whole part is just me cutting as much of the skin, as much of the tissue underneath. There's stuff in the jaw line. There's stuff where you're going to need to remove the jaw itself, so you can get some of that tissue out. There's so many nooks and crannies, but take your time and get as much as you can, and you know what, this will do okay. So at this point, just watch me cut. I'll be talking a little bit in a moment. Alright, got the jaw off. The eye is a little bit of a pain. Got this for this. Sometimes you get a little vitreous fluid. times. But that's alright. This was nasty a little bit. Get all those tendons and stuff out of there. My nice good dull. So I'll sharpen it again. Eyeball. Good for the soul. Gouges. Have to dig with that meat a little bit, and then after I dig out that meat a little bit, we'll do the boil. Also, I'm going to take my little rongeur and pull some more of the hair out there and clean up some more stuff. I guess you don't really need to see all that, but basically that's it. Alright, we cleaned off the table with some bleach. We skull capped a few for some friends. That's pretty cleaned off. The next step is going to be to boil. I'm going to show them his jaw so we can age it. There's some skull caps cleaned up for some friends, and there's John's 10-point buck. It's an 8-point main frame with 10 points worth of stickers, but we don't play that game here in Wisconsin that everybody plays. It's a 10-point buck in our, and that's how we do it. So next step will be boiling. So there you go. What we got here is the start of the boil. We got the skull caps that I showed you before, and we've got John's 10-point buck in there. Eventually when I'm done, I'm going to boil those jaw lines that kind of give you an age thing. This is going to end part 1 of this video. Part 2 is going to go through the boiling and cleaning process, and then part 3 is going to show the making of the back. We made him a really cool back and a mounting plaque with his name, picture etched in wood and everything. So that'll be kind of a cool third video. So pretty neat.